Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Markets to Watch from Smack the Markets for week commencing the 6th of May. Now many UK traders will be coming back to their screens today to find that, well, there's been quite a bit of activity going on over the long weekend. So let's take a look at a few markets here that we're keeping a close eye on in the trading room. Now, if we come and take a look at a couple of currency markets first of all, CAD yen is one of our interested markets here, mainly because the CAD and the Aussie and a number of these markets have opened up with some huge gaps over the weekend. We can see that the gaps are now sort of virtually closed on many of these markets, and this one, like some of the others, namely sort of Kiwi yen and sort of Aussie yen, has come back into some sort of key technical levels on these sort of mid-time frames. So you can see that the market's retraced back into these key technical levels. It's back into the moving averages as well. And in the context of these already short trends on these markets, this is an area where we're starting to look for evidence of weakness coming back in. Now, you know, this is a nice area for the trend to continue, and if this sort of continues and we get a setup here, then we may well sort of present us with some opportunities to join the prevailing trend to the short side. Now, CAD yen is looking sort of good from that perspective. The US dollar against the CAD is looking interesting from the opposite. Now, of course, you know, we're still trading sort of CAD weakness here, but dollar CAD has been a market of interest for ours for some time now, mainly because of the higher timeframes here. Last week, we had some good trades on this market, some nice successful trades on the intraday timeframes. The market's now sort of pulled back into this sort of area here, just underneath the key level around 134, 34.50, which is a nice area you can see here on the weekly chart. But more importantly, the weekly structure here is still looking very bullish. It's still looking long. And as long as this sort of trend stays intact, we're going to be looking for opportunities on breaks above this level and looking for moves to the long side. So we can see here on the daily chart that the trend is not necessarily the most attractive on the daily chart, but we're still getting higher lows forming in the markets. And as long as we get those sort of higher lows compressing up against that level, there's one way that this market will go, and it will sort of break through there. That's going to require some dollar strength coming back in. So we need to see some evidence of that sort of formulating too. Now, if we come and take a look at the Dow future, which is our one of our sort of favorite index markets. Now, this market here has had quite a turnaround after the sort of big sell-off towards the end of last week. Interestingly, since then, the market's rallied back up, and it's coming back into some sort of technical levels here on the sort of mid time frames. So probably easier to see here on the sort of 8-hour chart. So you can see that the market's coming back into sort of 26 sort of 300, around 26,300, 26,350 is the sort of key area that we're looking at. The trends on these higher timeframes are short. I think that the market here is really coming up to a decision point area. This could be a nice area for the longer term trends to look for more short opportunities and move to the short side, whereas on the lower time frames, this could be quite a key decision point to look for markets to more towards the long side. So how the market reacts around this sort of area, we're paying very close attention to, because the result of this, the decision here that the market puts in, will sort of give us a key for these longer term trends. Our preference at this sort of moment in time is really to play these on an intraday basis based off these sort of technical levels that we're seeing on these mid time frames. Now, let's come and take a look at silver. Silver here is a market that we spoke about last week, mainly because of the higher time frame sort of macro structures of this market. We were looking for short opportunities off 1510. Now, The market did have a nice move last week, and there were many opportunities in there, and many people in the trading room took advantage of that. Now that we've had a retracement here, the market's still underneath that sort of key level on the weekly chart. And more interestingly, if you come and take a look at this on the daily and on these sort of mid time frames, we can see that weakness is starting to come back into the markets here. So we're looking for continued sort of weakness here. As long as the market can break down, we're looking for continued weakness and new opportunities here for shorting silver. So there's a few markets there that we're keeping a close eye on in the trading room this week. I certainly hope it helps. I'll speak to you next time. Bye for now.